And now, from the bowels of the internet, it's the Hate This Podcast.
Drop your cocks and grab your socks. Welcome to the Hate Bit Podcast. I'm Yellkaos. Joining me as always, the super sick Sainted Magnus.
Fuck off.
Followed by the irresistible force, Alpha Omega Sin.
The irresistible force is actually in my pants, so don't get it confused.
Oh, no, that's the immovable object.
Followed by the immovable object, Razor Fist.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is the womb-wrecking, woman-throwing, gleaming, metalliferous God Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
Ugh.
And welcome to our show, episode number 4. Today on the podcast, we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about Capcom's Captivate 2012. We'll be looking, letting you know what we think about the unveiled trailers for Resident Evil 6, Project Cross, whatever the hell, Lost Planet 3, and so on. We've also got a little bit of bad news. We're going to open up with some bad news, or good news, depending on who you are, that Commodore founder and former Atari Corporation CEO Jack Tramiel passed away just a few days ago as of this podcast.
What?
Exactly. A lot of people like Jack Tramiel. A lot of people did not like Jack Tramiel. It's funny, in Polish, his born surname, Terzmiel, actually means bumblebee. He was born December the 13th, 1928, in some fucking place I can't pronounce in Poland. And
I
and
heard
he
that is
died.
the name of the place. Some fucking place I can't pronounce in Poland.
I'm gonna guess it's pronounced Loch. It's got something that looks like an L, something that looks like an O, something that looks like half a D, and a Z with a hair lip.
And that's the Russian alphabet for you.
Thank you. And he died April the 8th, 2012, in Monte Sereno, California. So anyway, he's dead, and those who like him should be sad, and those who hate him find out where he's buried and dance on his fucking grave. This is the guy that one of the corporate raiders that essentially strip mined Atari out to what the shell of a company they are today, and is also the guy that James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, in a roundabout sort of way, hypothesized ran off with all the riches from the Sword Quest adventure Quest. For those of you who remember the video game competition from the early 1980s.
Yeah.
That was a lot to say. Anyway, we're going to move on to some fan mail, because we got a lot of fan mail. You fuckers send a lot of stuff, and it's hard to get through all of it. And you know what? What's funny is you guys think you're funny. You think you're funny, you say whatever the hell you want, and you think no one's going to say anything back. Well, someone took issue with Mr. Razorfist, and I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to let him tear you a new asshole. This comes from Purgatory Sakura, and he says, "Hi, guys, great podcast." Oh, fuck, he's a nice guy. No, I'm not going to backpedal. On the other hand, you know what, dude? Whatever. He says, "I just wanted to take issue in a friendly way with something Razorfist said in the last episode about the Souls games. He contended that they took a large amount of inspiration from the Diablo series, but this is simply not the case." Next sentence. Demon's Souls was actually the, in quotation, spiritual successor to the King's Field series of games, which From also developed. From
Software. It's From Software.
From Software. Yeah.
Well, thank
They
you.
make the Armored Core games, that's all I know.
Makers
Well,
of
let's
such.
put From Software, because I'm just reading From really loud. Demon's Souls and King's Field share most of their gameplay mechanics in common, and really only differ in that Demon's Souls exchanged a first-person perspective for a third-person one, and made the combat a lot more fluid and responsive. As to the sources for inspiration for King's Field itself, they certainly didn't include Diablo, which was released 4 or 5 years later. Games like Wizardry and the first Elder Scrolls titles are more likely candidates in this regard. Cheers, Michael.
Thank you.
Razorfist, fucking load.
It's a fucking dungeon crawler, and when you talk about dungeon crawlers, there's no more popular or prolific example than Diablo, period. What do you do in this fucking game? You walk through dungeons and you kill increasingly difficult fucking monsters. Does that sound familiar? It should, because it's fucking Diablo. Shut your goddamn mouth.
And just on that note, I'd like to say that the Demon Souls servers are shutting down this May, and they're giving us the chance to work out what the world tendencies will be. So get online, start playing fucking Demon Souls again, and start deciding what you'd want that world tendency to stick at when they finally shut the servers down at the end of May. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very, very good. Sean, you had a piece of fan mail that you wanted to bring up, didn't you?
No, I had a comment.
Oh, well, bring up the comment.
I'm going to bring up the comment. I'm going to leave the name of the person anonymous. But he said, basically, he told me to eat a bag of dicks. Because the download link says, you click the download link to download, and it says you have to register. Well, if you notice, there's a little button. There's two of them, actually. There's one where you can use your Facebook account to log into this download service, or your Twitter account service. Use that. It's fucking quicker. No problems. And you're putting me on this rant when I'm fucking feeling like a bag of shite. So, you kind of can... Yeah. I'll leave that to your imagination. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, guys. You hurt his feelings, and now it's just going to bring down the whole podcast. Whoever wrote that comment, if this podcast sucks, it's your fucking fault. No one likes you anyway. Our next comment, coming from fan mail, comes from Athrin Corey. And Athrin Corey asks, what are your guys' thoughts on Capcom's... Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be capital D-I-C or capital D-L-C, but
Dick.
Capcom's dick practices, that should be fairly apparent. And he also goes on to say that I love you guys, keep hating, Athrin Corey. Now, if you're talking about the DLC practices, I think that's also quite self-apparent, but Alpha Omegason's going to tear you an asshole, so go for it.
Well, I think that the whole entire dick analogy was pretty much spot on, because, you know, I've said it once, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again even after I say it again, is that Capcom abuses their fans beyond understanding because people continue to buy it. And that's the thing. They will nickel and dime you for every little thing because they know anybody that is extremely dedicated to game, fully enveloped into it, will want to go and cough up that extra money. And that's the problem, is that they're an asshole company, but they know that you're willing to go and tongue clean their fucking assholes clean. So if you continue to do that, then they'll just keep on fucking you over. And that's pretty much the business practice of them currently right now until people quit buying into that fucking goddamn bullshit. Frankly, I don't want to pay a bunch of extra money for shit that's sitting on the fucking disc. I don't want to be told, oh, hey, this is the reason why they do it, and give me some roundabout excuse as if I'm 5 years old and I'm mentally fucking retarded and don't understand basic fucking things about electronics and how you program fucking video games. Suck my fucking dick, drop dead, come back to fucking life, and get impaled on the nearest fucking rhinoceros that you can fucking find. I don't fucking care where you have to go to fucking find it. Just fucking get impaled. Fuck you. Go away. Catch on fire. The end.
Where the fuck did the rhinoceros come from?
Well, the rhinoceros has to.
They come from Africa.
The fact is that if you're annoyed with somebody, a rhino should appear, because a rhino's a pretty intimidating fucking creature, and you should be impaled asshole first or dickhole first onto it, and then suddenly catch on fire. Or the rhinoceros itself is on fire.
Haven't you?
Huh?
You've been to Disney World, haven't you?
No, I haven't, and I don't think they'd want me there.
No.
Any more?
Anyway, we move on to our next piece of fan mail coming in on the Hate Bit Podcast Facebook page. And if you haven't liked the Hate Book, whatever.
Yeah, we'll call it the Hate Book page.
The syllables. If you haven't liked us on Facebook yet, you're a motherfucker. So get to it. It's actually in the link below. Yeah. What else? Like I was saying, our next piece of mail comes from Christopher James Saunders, who writes, "Hey guys, been listening to your podcast and it's friggin' sweet. Smiley face. It's pretty damned awesome to find 4 fellow metalheads talking about games, and you're all retro gamers too, which is even more awesome. Smiley face. So much like up. Sure, I still like the newer stuff that comes out, but I am a retro gamer at heart. Smiley face. Still love the Mega Drive and always will. Up, up. I know of Alpha and have been subscribed to him on YouTube for quite a while, and he's always great to watch and now been introduced to Yes Self, Razor Fist, Yellkaos, and Sainted Magnus. Sub to you two now. Up, up. Loving what you guys have done so far and look forward to more. Smiley face. Would be great to get a response from y'all, but I can appreciate you probably will either take a while or not respond at all. But no biggie, period. Just leaving a message to say how awesome y'all are along with the podcast, and here's to more greatness. Chris, aka the Chris the anime guy. P.S. Up the irons. Chris, you seem like a real nice fella, but you come off as a retard in your letter. You didn't say anything. However, you seem like a real nice cat, and I didn't mean that. Or maybe I did.
You smile more than the fucking Joker.
That's not a bad thing, though.
Well, for the Joker is more an involuntary thing, it seems.
No, is it
Anyway.
a permanent thing? He's fucking got scars in his face. Have you ever heard
Well,
he got those scars?
All I'm saying is this guy might want to get his nervous tick sorted out. That's all.
Sorry.
So,
I know. I mean, you know, I can throw around.
I'll be the nice one to say thank you very much for all the kind words and sending them to us. So, because nobody else is gonna say it, but no,
Yeah.
genuinely, you know, we appreciate it.
Yes.
And suddenly you're the nice guy.
And what was the guy's name again, please?
I can't say because now he's going to be upset.
No, just say
No.
what's his name again.
James Saunders.
Matthew James Saunders.
Matthew, no, Christopher.
Christopher.
Matt.
Christopher.
Luke, Mark, and Duck.
Can I?
You're really
I'm
bad at
trying to be the nice guy. I'm the nice Brit.
You're only the nice.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'd just like to say thank you for that letter, and you got a decent choice in consoles because you got a Mega Drive. So there we go.
I would also say I don't know that we're all retro gamers. I play all the new games that come out. That's most of my reviews. It's what they are. Alpha plays all the new games. I don't know. I'm not really a retro gamer.
I think what he just means by that is that we do play older games because there's lots of gamers who they technically will only play what just came out and won't play anything that's even like last gen or before that.
Sell it back to GameStop for less than half of what they paid for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was in my local cash generators yesterday, and I saw they had a poster up on the wall beside the counter saying how much they taking consoles on trade, and a Wii, a white Wii, they will take £25. Then they sell it for £55.
Yeah.
They're making a £30 profit.
Mhm.
Bastards.
Well, I went to Book Off today, which is actually a subsidiary of Hard Off. For those of you who watch a lot of the Japanese YouTubers, you'll notice the Hard Off it's the same logo, just different. And whereas Book Off is a little more like a bookstore, ultimately what the Barnes and Noble booksellers want it to be, but no one reads anymore.
No.
So, except for me, I read the letters. I read your letters, and to make sure and send us letters anytime you feel like it. Either at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook. And like I said, if you don't like us on Facebook, you're a motherfucker. But anyway, it's over there, and I saw that they were giving credit for Kid Icarus Uprising, and they were giving a credit of $31 if you traded it in. And I thought that was rather humorous because I only paid $30 for mine. So I could have traded it in and made a profit.
You want to be up
A profit of $1.
Yeah.
I know, hey, the profit's a profit, man. But then I would have drive all the way back home to go get it, and the profit would have been lost right there.
Man, nothing beats the profit you can make off. Well, not necessarily a profit, but you don't have to spend anything. Buy a used game at GameStop, return it within 7 days. Just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. You can ride the same $40 in.
He says these things because he knows he's totally anonymous.
Yeah.
Or else you're just exploiting a loophole, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
That
so
sounds-
any aspiring game reviewers out there who are like, hey, how can I get a hold of new games to review them? Go buy it once and keep returning it.
There we go.
Your initial $60 investment, and just keep piggybacking it. You'll be all right.
Exactly.
Now that's another money-saving tip from the Hate Bit podcast.
Yes.
The more you know.
Yes.
I know. I feel like the more you know logo should be flashing on screen.
Yes. I think we'll do that soon.
We can't afford that kind of technology just yet, but when we do, we're going to have David Schwimmer do it for us.
Do.
No.
anything.
Right. What's next?
Anyway, we're at this part in the podcast where we just kind of descend into casual conversation before we move into our big topic. And
Yes.
I guess we've reached the end of our casual conversation. So moving into our big topic, Capcom Captivate 2012. A lot of information released, and the boys are gonna go nuts. You can see them. I can see them right now. They're foaming at the mouth. So, boys, go.
Who's first?
Razorfish, you want to talk about RE6?
Razorfish wants it. Razorfish
Yeah,
wants
well,
it.
okay. The big one was the Resident Evil 6 trailer, which I imagine, given my thoughts on 5, a lot of people want to know what I have to say about 6. Honestly, it looks like shit to me. I'm seeing knee sliding, quick time events sequences, and apparently they're going to split it up into 3 separate games, which is kind of a cool concept, except all the characters are retarded. And they're going to be split up into different games, and each one's going to have a different emphasis. One is going to be, hey guys, look, we can still do survival horror. And by survival horror, I mean on occasion a zombie will jump out of a window at you. And the other one's going to be nothing but action and shooting and sliding on your knees and playing Vanquish. And the other one is, I don't know, a dating sim. I don't know what the fuck it's going to be, but it looks like shit to me. And can we talk for a minute about the Resident Evil 6 Deluxe Fuck You Up Your Ass edition?
Yeah.
I was going to make a video about this tomorrow, actually, but I'll talk about it now.
He's not going to give you the content for free on this fucking thing.
Yeah, this is kind of like the trailer maybe for a video.
Hey guys,
everybody
hey guys,
get erect.
you want a $40 leather jacket? Yeah, pay us $1,000 for it.
Oh, not just 1,000, it's 1,200.
What?
$1,200, and you can get yourself a replica Leon Kennedy jacket. Now, if you see what Leon Kennedy looks like in Resident Evil 6, he does look a lot cooler, and that's really the truth. If you see the jacket really doesn't look all that bad, but $1,200? No, I can go and buy a top-of-the-line leather jacket for like a couple $100, and then take the rest of the money and go buy like a top-of-the-line gaming rig that I build myself, and I'd still have money to go and spend on a big fucking booze binge and have like naked bitches everywhere.
And then embroider it like the jacket.
Yeah, like one of the most over-the-top gifts I ever got someone was a full-length leather trench coat, and like a good one from like Burlington, like a good one.
Burlington.
And it was
more than
200
great coats.
It was $200.
Yeah.
That's a trench coat. That's full length, and it was fur lined. For Christ's sake, this thing looks like a cheap motorcycle jacket knockoff that you could get at any biker leather store for $50.
The
Like,
thing is, you can actually go to the Harley store and get jackets just like that for cheaper.
Just go over. If you want that jacket, just go get it. Go get it for $50.
I'm just gonna wait on YouTube for these stupid bastards that are going to spend this fucking $1,200 fucking dollars for a game.
You'll be unboxings galore.
A special edition of a game. Fuck off.
Yeah, the thing is, like, a lot of people like to get limited editions with, physical content because it's a lot better than getting a little fucking voucher to go download something. And that's the only good thing that I can say about this is that at least I'm getting something that's like a physical item, but they're charging me like 4 to 5 times the amount of what it's actually really worth. And I'm not even like talking about what it cost them to make. What it cost them to make is like dollars, just a couple fucking dollars. But what it actually costs to go and fucking buy, you would have to be absolutely fucking bonkers to go and buy it and then go turn around and try to fucking justify it. Like, if you're not high on fucking crack, like literally your crack pipe slips out of your fucking pocket in mid-sentence when you're trying to go and defend your fucking recent purchase of this fucking limited edition herp-a-derp, okay, then you literally should be locked up in a fucking insane asylum, like with the fucking Arkham Asylum logo painted real big on the fucking side just for shits and giggles because you're fucking mental. End.
Yeah.
End of fucking story. Sorry if.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Alpha. Okay, you're getting something physical, but are you willing to put money down right now that there will be bullshit day one DLC?
They already said, didn't you hear?
So it is included.
Here's the thing. There is day one DLC. They have the fucking mercenary things coming back. And I'm all for that because the mercenaries mode isn't that bad. It's honestly pretty fucking amusing as an extra, not as its own standalone game, which I already fucking touched on with the 3DS. But the thing is, if you go and buy it at Best Buy, you get a map. If you buy it at GameStop, you get a map. If you go and get it at fucking Amazon or Walmart, I forget which it is, you get a map. And it's like, you gotta be fucking shitting me, man. I have to go and pre-order this, and no matter where I pre-order it, I'm still getting fucking shafted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
what the fuck, man? So no matter where you get it, that doesn't give anybody incentive to go and buy it because there's no real fucking incentive anymore because you're getting fucked and you can see that from anywhere else. So
Yeah.
it just clusterfuck is stupid,
Well, yeah,
man.
well, and you know what this is about, too. Okay, so say you buy the Amazon version and you only get the one map, but you want the other ones. So what's going to happen? It's going to be available day one for you to purchase.
Oh, yeah,
It's
absolutely.
extra dollars in Capcom's pocket. That's the only reason they ever do anything.
Oh, and remember earlier when we were talking about the DLC and Capcom and everything? Well, here you go. This is another fine how do you do example of this stupid fucking bullshit. But that's just this current modern gen. As much as I had Capcom for doing it, tons of other developers and publishers, well, not really developers, but publishers go and push this fucking shit and peddle their bullshit fucking wares of a couple kilobyte downloads and everything and make you feel fucking special. Powder my fucking ass. Yeah, suck my fucking jolly cock.
Yes.
Dicks.
You can't blame Capcom solely for this. However, they did lay out the red carpet for everyone else.
Oh, Square Enix is another fucking example. Deus Ex Human Revolution, you buy the Augmented Edition, you get a couple of extra missions, and you get a couple of weapons from day one. You get some extra practice kits so you can actually upgrade your character. It's locked on the fucking disc. You put the code in, the download is no more than 100 kilobytes.
Yeah.
Dude, I shit you not. You want to know what the worst offender is? I'll go on record and say this. Anybody can go and argue with me, but the worst, the absolute fucking worst offender, and this is official, folks. Okay, go and get Disgaea 3. Okay, on PS3. Go get Disgaea 3. And if you've played the previous two installments, like Disgaea 1 and 2, all right, you'll realize there's a bevy of fucking content in those games. When you get Disgaea 3, all of that content, all of that extra stuff without the main story, all of it is fucking like it's extra and you're charged for it. And there is no collector's edition or game of the year edition or anything like that includes it. No, you have to pay at the very bare minimum double the fucking full retail price to be able to have the entire game. That's over $100 to be able to have a fucking game that was on PS2 for $50 that had all the same content. That is fucking messed up beyond belief. Even if it's shit you're like, well, I'm not really interested in having all that content, that's fucking that's fine. But the point is all of it was previously on a fucking disc somewhere else. I'm off on a fucking DLC rant. God damn.
Yeah, well, we did a DLC rant last week, so.
Woo!
So anyway, what this?
So for those of you wondering what our stance is on DLC, you probably don't have to ask anymore.
Well, listen,
We don't like it.
listen to podcast 3, you'll understand exactly.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
back to RE6, because that's originally where the fuck we were at. Resident Evil 6, you know, they showed it off, and the only real downside to the fucking trailer that I thought, that I didn't even get to share my opinion on this, is I felt that they gave away too much story in this. They told you who Jake is. He's Wesker's son. They showed off that the chick in the trailer, that's Sherry. You know, and that's a really big deal. And then there's the one chick is supposed to be Ada, and you know, then all of a sudden Leon and Chris are fighting, and then there's like everybody's saying, you know, oh well, Claire might be showing up in the game, and it might be 2v2 with you know, the Redfields versus Leon and his fuck puppet Ada. So I thought that they gave away way too much within that trailer, but it was exciting nonetheless, despite you know, Razor Fist wanting to take a massive lava dump on it.
I'm in that same.
A lava dump, you say?
I'm in that same camp about that because I missed out on Resident Evil 5 because I just don't agree with the fucking what they call a survival horror game nowadays is basically Chris Redfield eating a fucking bottle of fucking steroids, shooting black people in the face. Now that is racism basically. Racism.
No, the racism, it's not racist that he's shooting black people. It's racist that all the black people are in grass skirts and throwing spears like it's the year 1492.
All right, how about this? It's
That'd be more racist
it's
than
not
them trying to kill
racist.
this old white guy on the screen.
It's not racist. It has nothing to do with racism. It's a stupid fucking area for them to even be in. We went from a motherfucking haunted mansion. Okay, then we went into an entire city that was in the middle of an outbreak. Then we went into some real fucked up village, and now all of a sudden we're going through like Mayan temples and bullshit. It's like, okay, let's go back to like a spooky atmosphere that doesn't.
This is the
just
same thing
reek
that
of
happened to
Indiana
Tetris,
Jones.
I tell you.
Yeah.
Tetris.
Every video game has become like Family Matters on vacation. Why are they here?
Oh.
Oh, God.
But, I mean, guys, I'm saying I don't even really care that they're giving away story, but I'll say this. You have too many characters in a game, especially a game like Resident Evil, where the characters are so one-dimensional to begin with. It's going to make them seem even more one-dimensional when they're actually having to interplay against each other. I'm telling you ahead of time, that's how this is going to come off, because Capcom...
Here's something I actually want to bring up, because you had touched on it, and then my brain went in 15 directions. When you were talking about the 3 playable scenarios, a lot of other people said that. I didn't actually find any absolute confirmation of it, but what went through my head, and I had this discussion with a couple other people, is Jake, who's supposed to be the 3rd playable character. Through all the trailers, they showed him doing lots of hand-to-hand combat. Well, I was extremely excited by the concept of doing hand-to-hand in the same, like, free flow style that the Arkham games have, the Batman Arkham games, and I thought that'd be really badass. But at the same point, considering this is supposed to be a survival horror game,
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
Oh, did you not?
Yeah, that's not scary. Is when I'm going up and I'm punching people in the face. It'll seem like 2 Chris Redfield-esque gameplay scenarios, and then Leon, who has like the traditional survival horror setup, which is pretty reminiscent to Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS, which is really good.
It's the best
and
Resident Evil for years.
But
like
they've already showed gameplay of Leon whipping out dual pistols and sliding on his knees to fulfill quick time event quotas and shooting. That doesn't look like traditional survival horror to me.
Yeah, the QT doesn't need to be in there, but I mean, considering the Capcom, like with Asora's Wrath, I don't know if you guys got to play that, but the game, despite the fact that the story is pretty fucking decent and the graphics are amazing, especially the art style of it is really amazing, the game essentially is nothing but QuickTime events with like 2 minutes of actual gameplay, and then back to QuickTime events, and it's just a cop-out for fucking programming and gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so that's Resident Evil 6. What's next?
We spent a lot of time talking about Resident Evil 6, didn't we? I was actually going to jump in.
It's a big game.
I was going to say, it's a big deal, that's why.
It sounds like a big deal, but let's be honest, with the way that Resident Evil 6 is going, the survival horror thing is pretty much down the tubes for them.
Bastard.
If I have a feeling that if the G.I. Joe movie had done any better, they would have used the same engine to make a game for that. Honestly. But anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about Project X. Now, you guys got a lot to say about Project X. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm not really that interested in it. But what I will say this. When I first heard the announcement, I said, oh my God, please tell me they're not making a game about that goddamn Matthew Broderick movie with the monkey. I don't know. How would everyone else feel about it? Because they're not really releasing too many details about it, Well, we recently found out it's Project Cross. I beg your pardon.
Project Cross something. I don't give a shit.
What do you know about it, Sainted Magnus?
Well, I've got one thing I want to say about it, and Capcom, Namco Bandai, and Sega.
That's 3 things.
Yes, those are the 3 people that are responsible for this. One of those companies I couldn't give 2 shits about. I'll leave you to think about that for a moment while I say this. I don't give 2 fucking shits about this whole project. The 3DS, it needs more games to actually entice people to use it. Now, having Kid Icarus Uprising, Mario 3D Lands, and Zelda, those are not enough. There's not enough there to actually want you to play the games or to be used to have the console. And I don't think this new project that they're doing now is not going to entice people. No,
Yeah.
I just don't care, so I'm going to pass it on to one of you guys.
Well, the conjecture is that it's going to be like a big crossover, like Namco X Capcom. It's going to be Capcom X Sega X Namco, basically,
Hmm.
which is just such a bad idea on so many levels. Anybody who played Street Fighter X Tekken can tell you that. What an awful game that turned out to be. I mean, they simplified all the move inputs. The crossovers, they're not doing a very good job right now. And
This is going to have
Yoshinori
all
Ono
the validity of the Jetsons meet the Flintstones.
Yes! Actually, I'd be more interested in that fucking crossover. Why not Jurassic Park versus Primal Rage? Come on.
No, man. You got to be like Street Fighter cross Perfect Strangers.
Uh-oh, Balky's gonna do a fucking shuriken.
They do the dance of joy.
Valky does a 50-hit
Dude,
combo.
like, 3 people that are listening to this are gonna get that reference, and everybody else is gonna be, like, going on Google. What the fuck is Perfect Strangers?
Isn't it funny how the dance of joy is very similar to the mamushka?
Mamushka.
That's even more an obscure reference. So Ed T1138 thought that was funny.
I was gonna say, I'll weigh in just my quick opinion on this. Project Crossnode, out of everybody, I'll be the one to be like, I'm excited about this, and that is the truth, despite like the limited amount of information given on it. It's an RPG, which caught me off guard, but you know, you got a bunch of characters from all their respective franchises, but the thing is that's exciting is the battle system. Even though they're toting it as a strategy RPG, the screenshots make it look like the battle system is very reminiscent of the Tales games, where it's a 2D side-scrolling, like you can actually control your characters during the battle, which to me is fucking exciting because I really like those battle systems. If they can pull off, you know, a big combining of the universes well, then I'm really excited. But most of the crossover games that I've played, for the most part, usually are kind of fucked up. Like they do something wrong because they decide to add in characters that aren't part of the universe. They're just like new characters that are just solely for that game, and they just suck the life out of everything else, and you can't wait till they're off screen. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen with this. I'm excited about it, and yeah. That's
So
all.
the overall consensus we have is that if they can do it, great. If not, they can eat a bag of dicks.
A big old bag.
A skip.
Big old bag of dicks.
A skip full of bag of dicks.
It's
Razorfist, what do you think?
It's such a shame to have Akira from Virtua Fighter have to take up space with some big, you know, compensatory sword-wielding Animu dipshit with a comb-over. It's really annoying. It doesn't seem like it fits. And on the Sega side, there's a lot of that bubblegum Animu crap that's being shoveled into the game.
They've got that bitch from Space Channel 5 in that mix. I know that much.
Yeah.
I think they've got another fucking character that's kind of fallen into obscurity since, you know, over the past 10 years since they decided
Here's one thing I can actually say that is very exciting about it, and most people, I'm sure you guys will agree on, is at the very least, the Dante that they have represented in the game is not the new Dante.
No, I'm actually happy about that because
okay. That sounded very sarcastic.
It was supposed to sound very sarcastic, but I'm being like that for a reason because I know what's coming next. And,
ooh, foreshadowing.
And well, I'll tell you in a minute. But having the proper Dante, you know, white hair, red jacket, kick-ass attitude. That's what we want. So that in a crossover game, I'm starting to waver a bit, but. Still, I don't give two shits.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it's the 3 that everyone has kind of counted out already. And no, we're doing something. It's kind of like the 3 fuck-ups in class doing a science project together.
Yeah, everyone get in the bunker.
You lost how much money, and you lost how much money, and this is a good idea. How? Anyway,
Exactly.
Razorfist, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the most recent games from all of these companies, they're absolutely atrocious. Namco just released Soul Calibur 5, and it's pretty much unanimously agreed, even by the most bought-out reviewers, that it's the worst game in the series. It's really, really, really bad. Capcom, I think we've documented the downfall of Capcom fairly well.
Yes.
So, I mean,
is it really a downfall, or is it really just the witnessing of them being the next Reich?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they want to be the Japanese EA or something.
Because they don't seem to be
suicide dive.
It is. And not even like an Assassin's Creed leap of faith, just a straight up suicide dive.
Yeah, they're just like, no, I have bombs strapped to me and I'm jumping off of a fucking building and I'm gonna blow myself up before I hit just to traumatize everybody.
Yeah.
Damn right. But I mean, you look at them. You look at Sega. Oh, you mean to tell me the guys that made Alpha Protocol are gonna be doing something fantastic? Turned out so well. And Iron Man 2.
Whee!
Game of the
Iron
year.
Man 2. Let's all go
I
out
can
and
at
buy a
least weigh in
sequel.
one. I can weigh in one thing and say that Sega at least did right recently, and that was I played through Yakuza Dead Souls, and that game.
That
was
looks fun, actually.
It really is. I
Gotta
beat
get that.
holy tar out of that game, and I had a fucking blast with it.
Binary Domain. I actually want to play that. It does look quite interesting.
To be honest, Binary Domain looks like a game that I want to play because I don't know. It looks like what the fuck do you call it? I think the Yakuza team actually worked on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of them, and that's one of the reasons why I want to check it. I heard it's not a perfect game, but the thing is, there's plenty of games that I played that were not perfect, and I still had a ball with.
Well,
So
when I played the demo of it when it was released, I just finished playing the Mass Effect 3 demo, and they felt very similar.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
feel very
I
similar.
think that they could pull something off. Again, it's just one of those things. It's like, it may not be a perfect game, but people shouldn't always expect a game to be perfect. Because even the ones that I consider the best of the best, I could tell them tons of shit to do to make it better.
Yeah.
So there's never a perfect game. The end.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we've got to move on to this next game.
Yeah.
Here we go. Devil May Cry, or DMC as they've now named it.
It's actually officially titled DMC Devil May Cry.
Huh?
That's the actual title of the game now. It's DMC Devil May Cry.
Oh, you know what that's
Oh.
about, don't you? They're trying to reach out to that omnipresent wider audience, and they know that certain people would be intimidated by a number at the end.
Devil May Cry 5, the pre.
Well, see, they were gonna call it DMC for a while, and I think that they're calling it DMC Devil May Cry now because they're like, well, people won't know what DMC is, so I guess we better tag on Devil May Cry to lure in the people that don't know shit about this.
Yeah.
They'll
So
think it's a
that'll be good.
rapper.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
Games that require homework do not sell as well.
I know.
Oh, and a lot of people have messaged me about this game. I mean, a lot of people. And they're like, will you please weigh in your opinions? And I will. I'll give you my opinion right now on the game. And I can assure you 100% if you're all for the game, you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but it's the truth. Okay, I'm never, ever, ever going to support this game for one major reason. This is the same fucking development team that, one, absolutely bastardized and took a verbal shit on the entire fan base multiple times during interviews and publicly stated that people can basically go fuck themselves. Then they went and mocked a fucking previous development team that's over in Platinum Studios now that made Devil May Cry. They mocked the character Dante multiple times, made fun of him. They also mocked Bayonetta, which I'm sorry is the next fucking Devil May Cry as far as I'm fucking concerned. And if you played it, you know that. It's just Dante with big old fun bags. And then on top of that, okay, I'm sorry, but if you're going to go and shit on a franchise that you're taking the reins of, then why would I ever fucking support you, especially when you're mocking the entire fan base? Why would I ever fucking support that? That makes little to no fucking sense and would make me mentally handicapped for even thinking such. So the game will never even get a fucking, like, I won't even look in its general direction. It's like that bastard child that you stuff into a fucking sewer drain.
I don't even fucking care. Like, I've never cared for Devil May Cry to begin with. I mean, you look at my list of likes and dislikes, you pretty much assume right off the bat I don't like a game about a guy with a gray emo comb over and a fucking trench coat and a gigantic, impossibly sized sword. But I mean, you can't at the same time turn around and change everything and then change it into something that just isn't playable and that just doesn't look interesting. And the new Devil May Cry just doesn't look interesting. No. Period.
Which brings me on to the recent trailer that they brought out. It starts off this, well, we'll say emo Dante. Inside
Dante is emo Dante. Have you seen him?
This one is
They're both emo. They're both cutting themselves.
Anyway,
Come on.
Anyway, getting on with this. It starts off with Emo Dante inside his trailer, and in typical Devil May Cry fashion, there's a fight at the start of the game inside wherever he's fucking having a pizza or whatever. But he's asleep in bed, naked. And as this whole fucking shebang is actually getting smashed to bits around him, he's finding clothes as he's diving through, and they're doing the whole Austin Powers fucking dick joke thing.
Oh, where they're covering it up strategically?
Yeah, strategically with fucking strategically placed items or items that you'd actually call your fucking wiener.
Did you see the interview with the creator when he had to explain that?
No.
Okay, if for anybody that hasn't seen it, I mean, just try to do a YouTube search for it.
We'll link it
The
below.
dude's name is Tamim, but basically he says that, and this is something that just blew my fucking mind, and that's not easy to do. No, it is. Stupid people do it frequently. Well, he said that the entire reason behind us is because Dante's all about style, and we want to show him like getting his clothes and everything, and like basically his evolving style. And he went on to give like this great big retarded fucking speech to this fucking interviewing bitch. And he's going on about this. He could have summed it up and just said, we wanted Dante to be naked for all the fangirls, and he got dressed.
Yeah.
That was it. It's fucking fan service. Just say it's fan service. Don't paint a big fucking pretty picture for it. And it's not like saying fan service is a bad thing. Okay, Bayonetta is fan service. The bitch gets naked all the time during the fucking boss fights. That's fan service. It happens. But don't sit there and say, oh, well, I'll give you some big philosophical fucking reasoning behind it that's just dribbling with bullshit out of every single fucking loose pore on here. And this is the reason why. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. You're a jack off to begin with, and just furthers the fucking goddamn sentiments of jack offery to you.
Yeah, so
Jaffockery, douchebaggery, and ass hattery.
yes. So anyway,
Dabbles and all.
this trailer, I watched the trailer. I was in. Well, I had a bit of sick in the back of my throat when I watched it, and I was thinking, I'm not going to support this game neither. I'm not actually going to physically go out and buy it. I'm not even going to rent it. I'm not even going to fucking tarnish my PlayStation 3 with the fucking disc that is actually from. I don't give a shit. It's not going. It's not going in my system. Devil May Cry stops at Devil May Cry 3, in my opinion. Bayonetta is the next Devil May Cry, and they should make a Bayonetta 2. Enough
Yes.
said. Moving on.
I don't give a fuck about either personally, but that's
The last on the chopping block is Lost Planet 3. I'm knee deep in the middle of not giving a fuck, so that's where you guys come in.
I'm a bit further in the middle than you with that. I don't give a shit.
Okay, so you and I are knee deep in not giving a fuck while we're having tea.
And scones.
I give a fuck, and by give a fuck I mean I really don't like Lost Planet. I think it's one of the most condescending modern games you could possibly ever play. Oh look, giant boss fights, and all the body parts that you can wound are flashing bright orange. Okay, because I'm 5 fucking years old. Thanks. Thanks, I appreciate not having to use my fucking frontal lobe.
Yeah.
But that's basically where I weigh in on it. I think it's just insultingly easy.
Looks like it's all on you, Alpha.
I don't have a whole lot of opinions on the matter other than I hope it's better than Part 2.
Part 2 was a travesty.
Because, I mean, Part 2 wasn't the worst game in the world, don't get me wrong, like, I've played worse, but it also, it was very, very forgettable. It just came off as generic. That was pretty much it. It just seemed like they were like, all right, Western audience, pay attention to us. Wait, shit, they're not. Okay, well, back to the drawing board.
Yep.
So, yeah, just come up with ideas that aren't trying to live in the shadows of everything else that's selling well over here, and just be a cool company. Most appreciated. Love the fans.
Well, no, sir.
It makes me wonder why I even bothered to write this down, because this all had the same enthusiasm as a Kurt Cobain letter. But anyway, that's pretty much our coverage on Capcom Captivate 2012, unless someone else has anything to add.
No. Move.
No, very good. Wait, what?
I do. Just one thing. Okay, real quick. Where the fuck was Mega Man, where the fuck was Haunting Ground 2? Where the fuck was Clock Tower? Where the fuck was the next Beautiful Joe? Where the fuck is another God Hand? Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Okay.
I know where they are. They're in the dumpster at the back of Capcom HQ.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're,
yeah,
they're
I
having
forgot
they're
about
having a
that.
fucking tea party out behind Capcom headquarters along with
Oh,
Breath of
and
Fire.
here's the thing. Even
Those
if
are all at Hard
they,
Offs.
if they did announce all those games, I'm pretty sure that they would just give all those characters gigantic machine guns, power armor, and make them go slam up against waist-high walls because that'll sell. Apparently,
That's the thing. Like, as much as I want a Breath of Fire sequel or a Mega Man Legends sequel,
Oh, yeah,
let's
Breath
be
of
real
Fire,
here.
sorry about that.
We all wanted a new Bionic Commando. How did that turn out?
That was so fun. The sarcasm is very strong with this one.
Let's give him dreadlocks and then give him a half-finished fucking game.
No, they have to pay money to get their own dreadlocks.
Oh yeah,
$1,200 to get their own dreadlocks.
you have to pay for each individual dreadlock.
Each individual dread, and then a lock, and then a lock to the dread, and the dread to the lock.
And we have additional DLC.
It'll
now
be
it
nice
has
and
lights.
collectible.
They can suck my fucking dreadlock.
Yeah.
All right, and with that brings us to the end of our first segment. It's time to careen back into the fan mail bag and have a look, see what's going on over there. Sean, do you have anything?
I have one.
You have one? Well, lay it on me.
A channel comment. It's hey, what's up? My name is Jay Styles. I'm trying to get my music out there before you think I'm another YouTube artist. You go to, that's what we put, understand this music is my life.
Okay. Well, the number one, that's a viral marketer if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
And
Don't we screen these goddamn things?
Yes,
yeah, why didn't you
screen
that shit?
I did screen it. I just wanted to bring it up because we will say now that we will not be doing shameless promotion of any channels ever.
Except for our own.
Except for our own and possibly a guest in the future.
That reminds me, since we're on the topic at hand, make sure and check out Sainted Magnus, Razor Fist, Yellkaos, that's me, and Alpha Omega Sin down below in the description box. Look at our channels, subscribe if you know what's good for you. Anyway.
And hang
moving
on,
on
we
to-
don't ask for subscriptions. They come to us. We don't ask for them.
Well, we're not asking, we're just telling
No.
if they what's
Yeah,
fucking good for them.
We don't ask, we demand.
They know what to do. They're smart people. They pick up on these things. They've been to school. You know. They're real cool cats, and we appreciate them, or something like that. That's what they tell me in this How to Do Human Resources book. Anyway, we're moving on to a segment of fan mail that I like to call Anonymous Comment. And luckily, in this comment, no one tells us to eat dicks.
Yeah.
Or a bag
even
of them.
a bag of them.
So we'll have
But,
to do it ourselves then.
Come on.
Exactly.
What's his comment?
So, anyway, I won't say who this comes from because, as I said earlier, it's anonymous.
Anonymous.
But somebody made a comment on one of the other podcasts. I don't remember which one. Maybe they're one of those people that tunes in just because they hate us. In that case, we hate you too, motherfucker. But that having been said, one of the general comments, and he went on a long, laboring harangue, and what I got out of it was the overall statement that Nintendo, you know, the big N, the company at one point during all our childhoods, ruled the fucking planet,
Yep.
will or can't survive another console generation because somebody, and I won't say who, is under the impression that Nintendo has been in third place for the last decade. I'm going to open up the floor to comments because, well, before I do that, I just have a question for you, my friend, and what I would like to know is, what are you? Fucking stupid?
Yeah.
I wish I could
Yeah.
put it in a more genteel way, but understand this. With the money that they make just licensing Yoshi, they can buy and sell you all day long. Make no mistake. So with that having been said, I want to go to my boys, Sainted Magnus. What do you think?
Right. Nintendo. Handheld market. They are top of the fucking tree.
Always have.
They
been.
always have been for, well, going on since, well, about 1989 was it when they brought out the Game Boy?
No.
89, 90. They've been at the top since then. They've had the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. They've had the DS, now the 3DS. Onto the home market. NES, top of the tree. Super Nintendo, top of the tree. But it was debatable because it depends on what region of the world you're in.
And it depends on what time of the year, because don't forget that pendulum swung back and forth many times.
Oh, it did.
But they were still top shit amongst like everything in general.
Yes.
They were still making money hand over fist on every single thing that they put out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Then you got the 64. Well, I don't know much about the 64, but I assume it was pretty damn good.
The 64 honestly waned between being in first and second pretty often because the PlayStation was a fucking monster.
It
like an absolute.
The Nintendo 64 was very strong when a major N64 title would come out, but right after that they'd slowly lose. They'd lose their place.
They lacked the third-party support, and they lacked RPGs, which during the 32-bit era, RPGs they reigned supreme, and there was no denying it.
No, you're right there. I'll agree with that. GameCube, solid third in the last generation.
Yeah, that was their big flounder.
Yeah. Believe it or not, it's a very good system. It's a very good system, but even though it floundered, it was a fantastic system.
No, I mean, there's no denying how good it was, but I mean, by comparison, they got fucking stomped.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they got killed bad.
They got killed not just by PlayStation, but by Xbox. So that's sad because Xbox didn't do that well.
No. And then we look at this generation. We've got the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii. The Wii, being a standard definition console, kicked the fucking ass out of both PlayStation and Xbox with that little white box called the Wii. So,
actually, they did it with the little fucking wand. The wand is what did it.
Well, you get what I mean. They've do your research before you start.
Oh, and here I'll add in one last thing. And keep in mind, everybody, we're not Nintendo fanboys at all. We're very fucking level-headed. We just know fucking history, facts, and numbers. Okay. And here's another one that I'll just throw out there. If you want to go and piss on Nintendo's parade, that's all fine and dandy. But when everybody said that they were dead in the water with the 3DS, it's now their best-selling handheld.
Yes.
Now their best-selling handheld that everybody was mocking, and you want to know it? It happened with the DS, and you can't really fucking deny the fact that Nintendo knows their shit, and they do it well. When it comes to the console market, that's more of a bumpy road. But the thing is, Nintendo, no, they're not a fucking joke. They've been in the business since the fucking mid-'80s, and they're still around for a reason because they know.
You don't think Nintendo has realized this? When Shigeru Miyamoto actually even hinted at the idea that he was going to leave video games, the Japanese stock market plummeted the very next day.
Yes.
Now, they came back up because he went and lied and said, oh, no, I wasn't saying anything else. Bullshit. But he almost wrecked the Japanese stock market just by saying he's tired.
Yes.
I mean, guys, let's play devil's advocate a little bit, though, because what is he really saying? He's saying that the Wii has lost steam, and that is very, very fair to say, because the Wii is definitely in the doldrums right now.
But Nintendo is actually suffocating the Wii all by themselves.
Exactly. They're not concentrating.
They're not losing in a competitive race. They're being smothered by their own pillow.
Yes.
Exactly.
They stuck his
the Wii's fucked up for a lot of reasons, though, and that's a complicated story that can go on for hours.
Shovel.
Well, here's the thing with the Wii. Here's what I've noticed with the Wii. The GameCube didn't sell so well because apparently, and this is what the old man had to say, and Miyamoto backed him up on it, was that the N64 was specifically designed to be complex. That way, only the best developers could develop for the platform. The problem with that being that the only people who actually were interested at that point, because, Nintendo had a draconian, headlock around everybody's balls in the gaming industry. Draconian headlock balls. Yeah, okay, I got everything I wanted to say in that little sentence.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult, and that's why some of the worst games you've ever seen have been on the N64. However, the N64 titles that were good were fucking stellar.
And then
because it's that complex. I believe that machine was never used as well as it could have been. Then we move on to the GameCube, which was intentionally designed to be a very easy to develop for console, and by that time no one cared. So once again, the best stuff you'll see on the GameCube is really Nintendo stuff. And this has kind of become a pattern. And now by the time we came around ready for the Wii, when Nintendo did it with pretty much a catalog full of fucking shovelware. This little bitty one that people waggle around in their living rooms took over the world for a little while, for at least a couple of Christmas cycles, with virtually no software support. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, the problem was, though, it was the Tickle Me Elmo of 2006 and 2007. It didn't have long-term appeal, unfortunately.
But it goes to show that Nintendo knew what they were doing. They knew they couldn't fare toe-to-toe technologically, so they said, you know what, we're going to kick your ass with some cute.
Oh no, that's not even the case. They can. Nintendo's got more than the fucking like bankroll to be able to go and put out something that would absolutely dominate, like, as far as hardware goes. But the thing is, what they did was they took all that fucking unused GameCube hardware, they fucking went and put it inside a little white box, and then they put the rest of their fucking money into a motion control. And that's what they sold to everybody. And this is not me going to be like, ha ha ha, they're a bunch of assholes. But that's a fact. You bought a GameCube with a better controller. Well, better depending on who you are.
Well, you actually got two GameCubes with a better controller. But realistically, you know, people talk about, you know, Nintendo, the dumbing down of the technology. It's like, yeah, you don't get into people's homes if your console costs $750.
Yeah.
Panasonic learned that. Philips Magnavox learned that. And PlayStation, Sony learned that. And the Neo Geo. Okay, they have to cut it back in order for it to be cost effective. Yes, Nintendo could put out this awesome piece of equipment that would probably be, very reminiscent of, say, like the Triforce board, very heavy duty stuff, but no one's going to buy that.
I mean,
Mario doesn't require that.
The big point at the end of all this is that no matter what you say about Nintendo, Nintendo is still a dominant force and something that all fucking competition has to look at, analyze, and as well as fear.
As a study in longevity.
Yep.
You know, they've been around, like I said, since the mid '80s. There's a reason why, and they'll continue to be around.
That.
Well, they were around before that because they did Pong systems.
Well, I just refer to like the actual like video game stuff. Because remember, I forget when they started off with the fucking card games. That was their very first thing.
I think it was in the late 19th century.
Yeah,
they've been around for fucking eons. As a matter of fact, they got
sandal wearing fish eaters.
Yeah, but basically, you know, Nintendo's a fucking a company that they're a juggernaut for a reason. I'm reiterating myself. You get the point.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Microsoft, in a way. Microsoft are predominantly, software developers, in a way.
Yeah.
They make
Why
Windows. They made the Windows fucking software, and look at how big they are. They go into consoles. They're not doing as hot as what they wanted to do, but still, they're
they're on top right now because Wii is in dick last and Sony's in second. They're on the top. They're where they want to be. But they're not doing as well with Kinect as they could be because they're not focusing on games. Once again, they're not
focusing on spying on people.
Skyrim.
Yeah, just so you know, everybody, if you have a Kinect, it's watched you jack off a lot.
Yeah, and Microsoft have been laughing at you.
and there's somebody at Microsoft that's got a serious hard-on for your mom and her holy bra.
Yes. Okay, what is next? We desperately need to move from this topic.
Fine, be that way then. All right, well, it's time to move on to our topics, because if you haven't noticed, we haven't actually moved into that segment because we're now in our second portion. So, first and foremost, the first one on the chopping block, SuperMario4.com has been established, and the domain name has been bought by Nintendo. Razorfist wanted to talk a lot about this, so let's go, Razor. What's up?
Well, it's always huge news when there's a new Super Mario game, but apparently it's supposed to be, the rumor at any rate, it's supposed to be for the 3DS, is that they're just going to go with another kind of 2D platforming Mario and just move on in that direction. I assume they're just looking at what Sega's doing to try and revitalize the Sonic franchise and kind of saying, hey, we should probably go in that route. New Super Mario Brothers worked out well for us, so let's try that.
Mario was fantastic.
That was a great game.
It was a great game, absolutely, and even for the Wii, it was even better. It's a little more. It's after playing it on a small screen for so long, watching it on a big screen is just odd. But because you're like, oh, it's beautiful. Oh fuck, I died.
Yeah, and the co-op is just fucking fantastic too.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on, actually, that's what I wanted to say before we wrapped up the what we were saying about Nintendo with the lesser hardware, the inferior hardware. The reason being is because they use inferior hardware. They don't need the fancy shit. Mario doesn't need a fucking doesn't need even a Pentium Celeron or an Intel Celeron. I beg your pardon. They don't need that. Mario can run on fucking watch batteries. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, it's great. You know, I'm very excited about it. You know, but it could be just, you know, it seems like the companies are really taking advantage of the rumor mill these days.
Mm.
They're kind of letting us bitch and complain so they can figure out what to do because they
I was
have
gonna
no
say,
ideas.
I think it's taking advantage of the rumor mill is also a good way for them to test the waters of, is this going to be something that people are interested in and will it sell? Let's throw it out there and see what they say. Okay, tons of people are interested in talking about it. Well, fuck it. All right, let's do it.
Exactly.
See, the Nazi Empire would have went over a lot better had they tried this before.
No, probably not.
Anyway,
Probably
I
not.
thought it was on about Super Mario 4.
Yeah, it's Super Mario 4, basically. Super Mario 4, I'll tell you this much. If it
The
is for the
bumpy
3DS, I'll still buy it. But the thing is, if they really, really want to go all out with Super Mario 4, the first, Mario 1, 2, and 3, and the other Mario 2, technically, in Japan, they were all on the Nintendo console and everything. If they put Mario 4 on the Wii U as a launch title, I assure you 100% that fucking system will be sold out in seconds.
Imagine
I
if
can
they
fucking
did a
guarantee
packaged
it.
game.
Yeah, if they do this, well, they could also have, like, look at Sony and look at Microsoft. They have multiple versions of their system. The Wii does to a certain extent. If they fucking have a regular version, just buy the system, or you can get like a limited edition red one with a Mario logo, and you get the Mario game packed in with it, then oh fuck yeah, the thing will be
Fly off
gone.
the shelves. However, there's less than 8 months until the Christmas holiday this year, so I really don't think it's very likely. But it is a great idea.
Stop trying to
That'd be
depress
nice.
me by saying Christmas is in 8 months.
Yeah, don't say that. My wallet can't handle it.
No, my
I know.
wallet can't either.
Christmas starts like November the 2nd now, I heard.
Mhm.
But no,
I did a Halloween special in the month of October, and it seems like right after it's over, oh, Christmas time, oh, great, fuck you.
Yeah.
basically. But I mean, is there anyone who wouldn't be excited by Super Mario 4?
That would be fantastic. I don't
I'm
know
curbing my
any-
enthusiasm.
Well, you know, you're British, so you constantly sound like you're dying anyway.
I am dying.
See?
But that's from The Hangover, man.
No, it's not the
Yeah.
hangover. The hangover was gone hours ago.
Oh, okay.
No, he's having the aftermath of the hangover.
Mm,
Oh.
yeah.
I wish I had a joke for that, but I don't, so I guess we're going to move on to... There's been a trailer released from Majesco for a game called Double Dragon Neon. And as this impartial reporter will tell you, I think it looks like a great big hunk of shit. Everyone else? What do you think?
I second that.
That's some Fox News reporting for you right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I second that because I remember playing the original Double Dragon, on the NES and loving it. And I saw this trailer and saw exactly the same scene. It felt like they took a pipe wrench, saw my memory of the original Double Dragon and gone, smash, and then took a big fucking anal evacuation on the thing.
To me, it actually looks like something that should have turned up on, the 64, but they just removed a bunch of layers and said, here, you like this.
Yeah, I don't know. And I have a high tolerance for shit, particularly when it comes to the Double Dragon series, because I think I'm one of 5 human beings on this planet that actually, their favorite game in the series is Double Dragon 3. Don't judge me, motherfucker.
You're mental.
You've already been judged, mate, because I knew you were going to say that.
I like Double Dragon 3. I don't understand the
Double
hatred.
Dragon 3 had great promotional materials, I will say that.
I liked it because of Bimmy and Jimmy.
Bimmy and Jimmy!
Thank you,
I mean-
AVGN. Thank you.
But,
Don't
anyway.
thank him, he's not here, goddammit.
No, he pointed out to me. I was like, oh, God.
Oh.
But I have no problem with another Double Dragon game. Fuck, that'd be pretty fucking cool. But what is it coming out for? What the fuck?
It's gonna be, it's actually on Xbox Live and PSN as far as I know.
Oh, it's in DL. Oh, fuck it. It'll
Yeah,
be.
so it's just one more game that you can pay for, but you don't get to own, so fuck you.
Exactly.
Xbox Live Arcade and PSN are not exactly paragons of quality.
No.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of I mean, come on, all us Wing Commander fans really loved that Wing Commander game that came out for Xbox Live Arcade. That one where you just flew around in a fucking circle and shot other dudes. Have you ever heard of that? Of course you fucking haven't, because nobody bought it and nobody goddamn played it.
Exactly. It's like Skullgirls. This says, oh, it's coming out in the UK. Me and a friend of mine was actually trawling the entire fucking PSN to find it. Then I thought, with a bit of foresight, oh, I'll go onto my American account and have a look. Found it, and it's actually out in America for $15 with 8 playable fucking characters.
Uh-huh.
8 playable fucking characters,
8.
and I have to go to America to get it.
What year is this again?
That's I think it's
1993.
It's 1981, right?
It's 1981. George Orwell's novel is 3 years away, and
No, it's 1983. We were in the middle of the crash because we just decided to play.
and no one has the slightest idea what's going on.
Exactly.
But on the plus side, there's a lot of good metal on the radio. So
Yeah.
there's
Yes, there is.
Yeah,
and we've got-
well, KNAC anyway.
Yes, and we've got our nice leopard print trousers on and the high tops and the.
I was gonna say my hair is really poofy and up real high.
Yeah, and I'm snorting coke off Ronald Reagan's cock. So, so that's great.
And I won't be born for another 2.5 months.
And I won't even be a glint in the milkman's eye because I was born in 1984.
So yeah, the video game industry is just as bad as Hollywood. They have nothing left. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. It's over.
And how did we go from Bimmy and Jimmy to snorting cocaine off Ronald Reagan's cock? I don't know.
All I know is he probably tells you to be
That's
very
that's
careful with the
supposed to come up
razor.
for the podcast, though.
Yeah, you got to be careful with me. But the real question when you're talking with me is how does every conversation not end with snorting coke off Ronald Reagan's cock?
I don't know. I'm starting to question it.
There you go, folks. How
You know,
does every conversation not relate back to Ronald Reagan with cocaine there? And he's like, go on, just snort the line. Right off the blue veiner. You can do it.
He's got a nice shapely crank, too. Anyways, we should probably continue.
Yes, move on.
Well, anyway, I guess it's time to move on. Well,
Yay, we're moving on.
we're moving on. If you folks haven't heard, Cliff Bleszinski, who I like to call him fucking moron number 2. He, I forget what he does over at Epic Games. I think he just sits around and says stupid shit.
No, he's the guy that sits in the corner with his arse in the air, waiting for somebody to butt shaft him.
Well, for those of you who are in the know, there was quite a bit of conversation about Street Fighter Cross Tekken and all the disc-locked content that is available. And there's been an uproar. Why they're uproaring now, I haven't the vaguest idea. But Cliff Bleszinski of Epic Games decided to chime in. And as we all know, that's just what he's great at. He's good at saying shit that really shows you how real smarty. Fuck it, I can't hold this up. He's an asshole. Anyway, he had the nerve, and once again I'm being very impartial, has the nerve to call the downloadable content fiasco, the ugly truth of the game industry today, and says it will finally be fixed. Don't worry about it once everything goes digital. As for myself, listen to me very carefully, you cocktease. You, sir, are going to be out of a job long before things go all digital. Because us here at the 8-Bit Podcast, if you didn't know it, we're taking over. And we're not going to let something like that happen. I don't know what authority I have to speak to say things like that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, Cliff Bleszinski, suck a dick. Boys, how do you feel?
Here's my burning query. Who's the more grating, obsequious industry homunculus? Cliff Bleszinski or David Jaffe?
Both.
Who?
Both
That's
of them.
my question.
Both of them at the same time. With lube.
Because he's the one that has the nerve to like shit all over the PC game fans and then, beg them back less than a year later.
Man.
With a gimp.
Because, I mean, you got Cliff Bleszinski in one corner with Microsoft's cock up his ass, and David Jaffe in the other corner choking down some Sony schwanz.
Mm.
Basically, I think they high five somewhere in the middle.
They're actually tonguing each other in between while they're getting shagged up the arse by respective companies.
Yes,
Dry.
but I don't know, guys. Personally, I don't give a fuck what Cliff Bleszinski has to say because Epic sucks and Gears of War sucks,
Yeah.
and I've been fairly upfront about that.
Cliffy can go and run his mouth about anything that he wants, and he's irrelevant.
Cliffy's eating Jaffe.
That's all that there is to it. Like, his opinion is irrelevant. He, as a person, is irrelevant. In the gaming community, he's irrelevant. And that is going to be a fucking mainstay of his entire fucking life. He's irrelevant. I take shits that are more noteworthy than he is. So.
Hey, fucking men.
He's sold lots of terrible games. So.
Oh yeah, he sold lots of terrible games, and he also shares his absolutely inane fucking opinion to people that, like, if they don't understand anything, might think that he's saying something that's pretty fucking intelligent. But these people are also window lickers. So the thing is, like, things will be better when they go all digital. Oh, you mean when you absolutely control the entire market?
Yeah.
And we have absolutely no way to be able to fucking do anything except for, like, coddle at your fucking feet and be like, I hope that you lower the price at some point because you'll just start releasing games at whatever price you want. Like, you could say $100. Oh, and it's all episodic too? Oh, and tons of DLC for each episode? This will be fucking great. Yeah, I can't fucking wait for that all digital age. Oh, and you can't fucking buy, resell, you can't do anything that, no, fuck that, and every single hole that I could make with a screwdriver.
Yeah, I personally can't wait to be out. I can't wait to be out in the fields picking cotton for the fucking gentry.
Yeah, so Jaffe and Cliffy can go and eat a dick. Simple.
A bag.
All right.
A bag.
This has been
about 3 skipfuls of bags of dicks.
Bags of dicks, you don't say. All right, moving on to
fighting over the third one.
Moving on to our next segment. This is time for a segment I like to call Conspiracy Theory, and we're going to wrap a little bit about on my theory that somebody, a major retailer in North America, is getting out of the video game market. It's becoming increasingly apparent because, as you know, the video game industry is entering a recession that they should have been touched by many years ago, but it's just happening just now. So who's getting out? My 2 votes are for Best Buy, who had to close 50 stores, or will be closing 50 stores over the next coming months, or Toys R Us. I'm actually betting on Toys R Us because I've been to Toys R Us recently, and it's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, I'd put my money on them too.
You putting your money on Toys R Us, Sainted? What do you think from being an outsider? Do you guys have Toys R Us there?
We do have a Toys R Us.
You do?
And to be quite honest, the only time I've ever been to Toys R Us was when I was about 10.
Yeah.
And even then I wasn't impressed. So
I know it's a great place to get overpriced baby formula. Yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I'm just going to go with Best Buy because of the fact that they are shutting 50 stores. That's my vote.
Alpha, what do you think?
Honestly, when it comes to this, I see a lot of retailers closing in general. It's kind of hard to say because, I mean, it's kind of funny because a lot of people say they want GameStop to close. And I can understand it because they're a piece of shit as a company and all the people that run it. But,
They have a very broken business model.
Well, you guys want to hear, speaking of which, you guys want to hear a neat little item of information from an intercepted official document I got from GameStop because I've got connection.
I love intercepted documents.
So they released...
Someone's going to jail!
on the GameStop website strictly for employees. Only GameStop employees can access this website. It's where they log in to, clock in basically every day for work. They included the 2011 in review, basically, and then stated their strategy for the coming year, for 2012, for accruing more profit, right? And they listed their 2011 accomplishments. Are you ready to be regaled with their fucking economic genius?
I could not be more excited than I am right now.
Well, everyone get around the campfire and start listening.
Okay.
My lord.
Here's your itemized 2011 accomplishments. Are you ready? Here's the especially juicy items. Reduced store footprint in U.S. by 1%. That's code for closed stores.
Uh-huh.
Reorganized leadership. And
Re-administration.
Transferred customers from closing stores to existing stores. And are you ready for this? Closed 211 stores. They out and out say it.
How many do they have?
And then in
thousands.
2012, in the section here, I'm looking at it right now. I got it. I went ahead and scanned it off. I got it. It says in 2012 they want to increase their profits, and by increase their profits, I mean decrease their losses from minus 9.5% to minus 6.7%. They're looking to lose less money in 2012.
See, the only thing that's kind of weird.
Are they documented
though,
as really losing money year over year?
Dude, they tote that
yeah.
they make billions
No,
every single year.
They're losing it hand over fist.
Yeah, it's because they don't want to like go and say everything that is really going on. But real quick, my vote is for Best Buy. By the way, yeah.
Why do you think that way?
Because Best Buy in general, I think that they don't make all that much money off of game sales to begin with. And you figure they're liquidating CDs. I know that they're trying to start liquidating DVDs now, and games I feel that are just going to be another thing under that umbrella. And Best Buy is already a piece of shit company, so I can see them just going and getting rid of that because most people go elsewhere for their games, and Best Buy doesn't even sell them at reasonable prices to begin with when the prices are lower everywhere else, including Walmart.
Well, what I've noticed as far as Best Buy is they got into the used game market really late in the game. They're one company that just showed up way too late to the dance.
Not just that, but did you see the prices of their used games?
I have not actually.
Dude, if you get bored one day, just fucking scan through them. Anybody that's listening, if you haven't, just for shits and giggles, if you're at a Best Buy, just go look and fucking laugh at the prices because they're used game prices. And this isn't like me saying, "Oh, I'm so frivolous with my fucking cash. I could never spend that much on a used." No, it's the fact that I could literally go a couple doors down and buy it new for the same price. What the fuck? Like, how can you be this big of a company and not have the sensibility to be able to do the fucking math online? Like, oh, Amazon's selling it brand new for this with free shipping. Oh, look at this. Walmart's selling it for this. Oh, look, Target's selling it for this. GameStop's selling it for this. You know, the biggest game retailer in the United fucking States. Oh, well, I guess we'll sell it used for even more than their new games. Haha, we're fucking geniuses.
My point of view is how out of touch could you possibly be? The guy who's running this, that's in charge of this part of Best Buy, couldn't just ask his kid what's going on. I mean, that's a given. If you didn't know, you just weren't listening.
Well, that also
this has been going on for 25 fucking years.
But that also explains, I mean, look at their store in general. All their shit is overpriced. I can get all their electronics somewhere else for cheaper. All of them. Every single time I walk into a Best Buy, I do a fucking price check online on my phone. I pull out my phone and say, oh, I pull out the little fucking barcode scanner, I scan it, and I find it online for like half price. I'm like, you're fucking imbeciles. You really are. Who's really going to keep coming here and buying this shit? And especially with your fucking dipshit ass employees that know next to fucking nothing that are trying to tell me, oh, buy this. I'm like, nah, that's garbage. Yeah, but you should because, I make incentive off this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe blue polo shirts are really expensive.
Well, look, the bottom line is Circuit City's out of business, right?
They're online owned.
They're still alive in Canada.
Well, Best Buy, period, has the Circuit City profit model still, and we saw how well that worked out for Circuit City.
Super well.
So they're gonna follow the White Rabbit down the bunny hole.
The thing is, do you guys remember when Best Buy first opened? They were actually a good store. They had really low prices, and they were competing to get people to come in, having decent fucking sales and everything. And the only time that store is even relevant to most people now is during Black fucking Friday. That's it.
It sounds like you're describing Goodwill too.
Dude, it's fucked up to think about though, because it's just like, if you're only relevant during one day out of the entire year, then for the rest of the year, you should just kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically
because it's just a matter of time. Like they're on the fucking chopping block, like as a store, and it's not even just games. Like they're liquidating tons of shit. I just see them pretty much going broke because they're fucked. I don't know, man.
Anyway.
Well, the one thing that I find interesting is how they got involved in the musical instrument market just a few years ago when they announced that that industry had been in a recession for a couple of years already.
Yeah.
And for instance, I went to my local Best Buy over here in Westminster, California, and was going to get Kid Icarus Uprising. They didn't have any, so I went and looked at musical instruments, and I saw the piss poor guitars they like to carry. And just for fun, I went and looked at the amplifier room, and Razorfist has been in the amplifier room, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I wanted to cry tears of blood. The same fucking 6 amplifiers that were in there when I went in there when they first opened 3 years ago are still there, and one of them's got a great big damn scratch on it.
Good times.
And like, you guys are one of the most powerful retail corporations in the country, and you didn't have someone to tell you that this was a bad idea?
Yeah.
It's like they've got fucking school kids sat with a crayon and a pad pen in the fucking conference room saying, "Oh, we'll do this."
Yeah, I would like shiny.
You want to know why they continue to do it? It's because they're still like the only like strictly electronics retail store around for the most
Not
part. There are
really.
some
Well,
other ones like H.H.
don't know if-
Gregg and shit.
I don't know if you guys have Fry's Electronics where you are, but we have
We do
them.
here.
They're even bigger than Best Buy over here.
I was gonna
and they
say
do
we
pretty
don't.
well.
I don't got them over here.
Yeah, they do pretty well. They're like Walmart superstore size big.
I think
They're
Fry's is primarily in the western states.
Well, here's the thing, but I mean, like, to Best Buy, they're still the big dog on the block, and there's no questions asked, and nobody else comes to mind. That's the mentality that they have, and that's the one that's going to take them broke. Is that
The
we
reason-
don't have competition, so we don't need to compete. You'll come here anyway, and it's like, you know what? We can get shit ordered online and brought to our fucking home, no questions asked, for the same amount that it would cost in the fucking sales tax to come to your store and buy it, and we're still getting it for way fucking cheaper.
Yeah, and
Don't
here's
forget,
the
to have it
thing.
shipped to you- To have it shipped to you would cost the same as much as to put gas in your fucking car and go get it, only to find out they don't have it anyway and drive all the way back home disappointed.
Yeah.
Here's where I break company with you guys. I don't think Best Buy will go out of business, and here's why. Because whenever a place has gone out of business, they always wind up having just abandoned stores. I've never walked into a Best Buy where there wasn't a shitload of people in there ever.
Yeah, but look at the areas in there that are busy. The areas that are the most fucking like heavy in traffic are the cell phone stations, which they make next to jack shit off those fucking like kiosks and everything, like for Verizon, AT&T, and all that. That's where they get a lot of their foot traffic. And then people look at the TVs. How many of those motherfuckers are buying? They go there to
I don't
fucking
know.
see it.
The
Like it's
one
a
I
display.
the one I see the most is people, browsing for DVD seasons and shit, and Blu-ray seasons or Blu-ray seasons, definitely DVD seasons, and just hanging out there. That's most of the. Also, the video game section, for some reason, people actually buy usually new games, because who the fuck would buy a used game from Best Buy?
I bought Kid Icarus there, and it was on sale for $30, so I can't complain.
Well,
I
I
mean,
can't. You're a retard.
Icarus, don't get me.
Yeah, I'm a retard. You're the one that lives in fucking Arizona.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Move on.
moving on. I wasn't trying to assert that Best Buy was going to go out of business. I just wonder if we were to vote right now, who's pulling out of the video game market? Somebody big, and I'm actually going to vote for Toys R Us, even though I think Best Buy should be considering it at this juncture.
I'll tell you what. We'll try and set up a poll on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well,
Not that you guys have anything to do with it.
We'll set up a Facebook poll. So I'll put up a post after this podcast has been up and say Best Buy or Toys R Us if we're going out of business.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think, and don't forget
You know what? I
to
would
comment and all that stuff.
I would throw Walmart on there too.
Walmart,
they started the used games thing, and maybe even Target. But
They
Walmart started the big used game thing, and that didn't work out very well for them at all. And apparently they're going to.
When did they do that?
They were doing it at certain stores, but it was they were taking in used games and selling them. And apparently,
I think that they have the kiosks now.
Yeah, I think they might still have them, but anyway.
Like, there's not many stores that have them, but there's a couple that still do. Like, you literally you scan the thing, you put the game in, and then you get a credit slip that you have to go redeem.
Basically, yeah. And it didn't work out too well for them. So I don't know. I think I would add them to the list.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Yeah,
sort
maybe.
that out.
I don't go to Walmart, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
We'll sort that out on the Facebook. So move on.
Yeah, let's have a nice big discussion about it. Then you guys can fight amongst yourselves in the comment section. We always appreciate that, you guys bludgeoning yourselves verbally for our amusement. We love that, and we appreciate you for coming along. Anyway, that moves us on to the third and final segment, and that's the great big rant. You love the rant. I know you love the rant. And we're going to be talking about what today, Mr. Sainted Magnus?
Video game collectibles.
Hold on. You passed me up. You did not let me talk about my story.
Oh yeah, shit. Go back.
Sorry, you know what, folks? Pretend you didn't hear any of that. Razorfist has a story.
We're organized, folks. I swear.
Just one last thing, and it's a fucking doozy. It also happens to be the topic.
I don't.
It also happens to be the topic that we were supposed to talk about last week, but we never got around to it. Basically, the director of an indie game by the name of Fez, his name is Phil Fish.
What a name.
He was at GDC at a movie screening, and there was a Japanese developer that asked him a question, and his response was, and I quote, "Japanese games just suck." And and apparently it drew cheers from the audience. So yeah. And he was immediately attacked on Twitter and attacked all over the place. He's being called a racist by Nihongo files all over the world, I imagine. But apparently there's Japanese developers that are coming out to his defense now. And Keiji Inafune, of course, is coming out and saying, he's, of course, the Mega Man creator, for those who are uninitiated. He came out and said he agrees with him. And Akira Yamaoka of the Silent Hill series agrees with him. And Hideo Kojima agrees with him. So he's not alone in this.
They're not trying to garner a new audience or anything.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking?
I
think he's 100% apt, number one.
Well, to be quite honest, most of the games I'm playing at the moment are Western developed at the moment. I think the closest thing I've got to a Japanese game that I'm playing at the moment is probably Final Fantasy IV Complete on the PSP. Yeah, so yeah, I can't agree with the statement because a lot of the games I've got in my collection are Japanese, origins. So I think they don't suck as such. I think they've just fallen off the radar a bit because people are playing the Western games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Need for Speed, all of them ones. They just don't seem to have the clout that they had back in the late 90s.
Yeah, and the big thing is that Western. Now, not only are Western developers, kind of ruling the world as far as that goes, but they're targeting Japan as their big sales market. So they're bringing these big titles that a few years back, I mean, fuck, I think Oblivion was the first Elder Scrolls game to even be brought to Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So like they hadn't even bothered up until that point. So they brought Oblivion, and now they brought Skyrim. I have no idea how popular it is over in Japan, because for some reason we never get reports about the popularity of Western games in Japan. But apparently Japanese developers
I love this.
What's up?
I love this, how American corporations are the ones who, help the rest of the world experience obesity. And now American corporations are going to help the rest of the world experience mediocrity in entertainment.
Especially if they're giving them Skyrim and Mass Effect 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. No, don't worry. If you just send a fucking email, they'll change it for you, so it's okay.
Yeah.
The gaming market is so different now from last generation to a generation before that. There's a lot of things to take into account, and the one major thing, and I can say this is really the fucking truth. Despite like the landscape of the gaming market being very, very different, it's the fact that look at how much more money people had to be able to fuck around with back when PS1 was out and 64 and Saturn, compared to nowadays where people are saving up just to buy one new game a month if they can afford that. Whereas before people were going to the store and buying like 3 games and then would go back.
Well, don't forget, Nintendo 64 was during Clinton, so there was a little more money to go around.
Well, I mean, it is a point to make is that since there isn't as much money to go around, all those it's hard not to say, but niche titles that normally people wouldn't want to pick up because they're like, well, I'm only going to invest in what I know and what I'm well versed in. I don't want to go beyond my comfort zone as far as spending for games and everything, and it's something that affects it big time. One of many things that affect it big time, I think.
Mm.
You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like a coup d'etat. This sounds like them, in a way, sort of pushing everyone towards digital-only distribution. Because there's no way in hell that one of these games costs anywhere near what they are charged retail price to produce.
No.
Oh, they don't. I mean, they cost a lot less to make than movies do, and movies go on sale.
I meant just the physical
for, like,
media. I
$17
mean, you think of how much a ROM cartridge on the N64
I don't know,
costs to
dude.
manufacture.
That's not true in some cases. Video game budgets are climbing way the fuck up. I talked about in one of my vlogs about Star Wars: The Old Republic being the most expensive game to produce in history, and that was apparently, and this is the conservative estimate, at least 250 million.
Yeesh.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's-
I mean,
That's
you do
insane.
have the.
That's like Avatar.
That's definitely true. I mean, you do have the instances of, a game is going to cost a whole lot to make, but for the most part, the general rule of thumb is game developers make next to fucking jack shit by comparison to what most people think. They make a fair amount of money for what they're doing, but the thing is, video games should really cost like $20. And that's really the truth.
Yeah.
They would make a lot more money in the long run, even though some people will go and try to pull out some kind of goofball fucking graph that they made on their fucking phone and
With a
say,
Venn
"Oh, you
diagram."
see." Yeah, they're like, well, I did some number crunching, and it's like, look, I'm gonna do some fucking head crunching if you don't shut the fuck up. And on top of all this, it's like if you priced all this shit at $20 a fucking pop, and this is truth, $20 a pop for all brand new games right now, not including limited edition and collector's edition, $20 a pop. Put all those fucking games out there, okay? Everybody would pick up games like a fucking mad. They would sell into the millions. Like people get fucking excited when they see something selling like, 500,000 copies, and that's a big number. Well, put it at $20 a pop, it's gonna score at least 6 million fucking sales, within a couple weeks. No questions asked.
Oh yeah. Because realistically, one of those fucking things, even if they've got a book in them, can't cost any more than $6 or $7 to manufacture.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, some games come out at that price point. Deadly Premonition, which I'm about to do an episode on, was $20 brand new.
And by the way, folks, if you have not played Deadly Premonition, for fuck's sake, please play it. It's really good, and it's coming
it's
out
really
for PS3.
fantastic.
Yes, I will,
See?
Alpha. Yes, I will, Razor Fist. I've not played it yet.
It really is, and
But Mom!
it's coming out for PS3. That's fucking awesome. That means that there's still hope for this game to reach a.
Yeah, but this
audience.
really pisses me. This is what really pisses me off. Okay,
Something
The
pisses you off, surely you jest.
I know. Here's what grinds my fucking nuts. If the game had not been up till now, it was not released on PC. It's only been released on 360, right? I think.
I'm pretty
So-
sure that's it.
Yeah, the reason why they're able to bring a PS3 version over is because of positive word of mouth and surprisingly positive sales. And surprisingly, here's the thing, all that enthusiasm, all those positive reviews, all those sales were generated by the 360 version. So how are you going to bring it over to the PS3 with improved graphics and improved a bunch of bonus shit and shaft all the fans of the original by not bringing the same upgraded version over to the 360? That's fucked up. That's the same thing they did with Mass Effect 2. It's like lifting the finger at the people who got you where you are, who got you into a position where you can create a PS3 version.
See, it does make sense, but the only downside to it is that the game isn't like a gigantic leap and upgrade.
I'm sure
the
it
visuals are going to be like cleaned up a little bit, and they're just adding in some more story, and that's really it at the end of the day. I think, like, I personally agree 100% that they should re-release it for 360 because they no longer sell the regular version.
Yeah, they
so a
don't.
re-release makes a ton of sense, and they should put it on PC too. And as a matter of fact, I know damn well a fucking iPhone could run it.
Yeah, it probably
Like that-
could. Fucking 3DS could run any of these new systems.
Dude, yeah, if they put on the 3DS, like, I'm sorry, Agent York in 3D, I'll fucking buy it. Anybody could be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're just being a fanboy. I'd be like, how about this? You can go and get fucked off a bridge because, frankly, Agent York is the fucking man.
You can eat some fucking red seeds and grow a goddamn tree out your cock.
You eat a bowl of fuck!
Dude, oh man, the red seeds. That's and anybody who has played the game, you definitely get that joke. It is full of yucks, but
Seriously, guys, it's there's no other game I've ever played that's like it. It's like you got a forensic game that fucked Grand Theft Auto, that fucked Fallout New Vegas, that fucked Resident Evil 4. It's like
look,
that
and put it this way,
fuck-
when I said earlier that there's games out there that are not perfect but are fucking enjoyable regardless of their imperfections, Deadly Premonition is pretty much like king shit of that. The game is not a technical achievement by anything really, but it's one of those games. It's so charming. You have to pick it up and enjoy it for what it is. It's amusing, it's fun, and it's funny. So yes, get it. You have two motherfucking metalheads that are telling you it's good, and if not, we'll beat you up. So.
You play
we
it
go.
and eat a jam and breakfast cereal sandwich while you're playing.
And was it you have to have one of the buttered biscuits that York likes ever so much?
Yes. So continuing on, I apologize. But
You know, if we ever make an public appearance, we're gonna have to like make someone an example. It's like, you the mother, come here. We're gonna give you a wedgie and a swirly right now.
There has to be a power bombing somewhere in there too.
A power bombing, yeah,
The last ride.
Eagle's elbow.
into dust.
Yes.
Anyway, we're at the end of that segment.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to your favorite, my favorite, everyone's favorite, the rant. And what are we talking about? Once again, Sainted Magnus.
Well, from if you didn't hear me before, video game collectibles. And what?
Which ones in particular?
Well, I'm sure you'd like to add to this because this is a double team rant because
Oh yeah.
I'm not-
Oh, yeah.
I'm not the strongest in the ranting fraternity. So Mr. Yellkaos is going to help me out with this one.
All right. Well, you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the boulder off, just off the cliff, and then I'll help you. We'll gain snow. So first and foremost, for those of you who are on the YouTube as much as I am, I have to say this, and I have to do it for my own sanity and for yours. I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing about Skylanders. I have fucking had it with Skylanders. They are action figures. They are not video game peripherals. They're just like the pins at Disneyland. It's a ploy to get you away from your dollars, and it's not considered collecting. For those of you that are listening that collect the Skylanders, it's not considered collecting unless it comes from a collection. They will keep manufacturing these things as long as you're willing to throw out $8.99 or whatever the fuck they cost. Anyway, Sean, now that I've got all nice and pissed off, go ahead.
I'm sick of Skylanders. The fact that you're going out, I've seen these in the UK shops for one shitty little figure that sits on a fucking shelf and absolutely does fuck all else. I don't care about this fucking. You can plug it into your PS3 and put it on this little gate and it appears on the screen as a magical thing. I don't give a fuck. As far as I'm concerned, it's a piece of fucking plastic that you buy at fucking video game retailers, toy shops, fucking entertainment shops for £7 to £8 a fucking pot. And there's fucking, how many of them is there? There's fucking 50 plus of these fuckers. 50 plus of these fucking little bits of shitty plastic that sits on a fucking shelf. And no doubt you're going to buy every single one. You stick them on a shelf and you think, oh, I'll play as Spyro. But everybody's going to play as fucking Spyro, aren't they? Jesus fucking Christ. It's like going out and you collecting Pokemon for your, on your 3DS. That's not too bad. You go out, you catch your Pokemon, and it's on a little fucking cartridge. And you can collect them all, and you don't have to pay extra fucking money to actually do it. It's unbelievable technology nowadays. 300, 400, 500 fucking Pokemon on a little plastic card. And to collect all the Skylanders, you need to take out shares on the fucking land next to your fucking house just so you can store the fucking things. Anyway, I've had enough. Yellkaos, you must have some more to add.
I do. You and I have kind of fallen for this goddamn AR card bullshit for the Nintendo 3DS. And while I think it's a really cute idea, and actually the wife is going to run out and get me some of those lovely little baseball card things for the 3-ring binder, I still keep wondering why. I've used them a couple of times and they're neat, I guess. But I'm mostly enjoying them right now because they're free. I got some from the Nintendo Fun Club, and yes, I am wearing my fabulous Mario hat right now. In fact, for those of you who see me on the Nintendo 3DS every now and again using your friend codes and what have you, I got my Mario hat on. But I'm okay with them right now because they're free. But I have a feeling that the AR cards are going to be the Skylanders for Nintendo. You watch, they're going to be for Pokemon. Alpha, you brought up about the AR cards for Pokemon. What do you think?
Well, I actually heard that they're supposed to be making booster packs for the Kid Icarus cards.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I got the ones from the Nintendo Club, and I got the one out of the latest
well, I mean,
Nintendo
like
Power.
they're supposed to be having like actual booster packs, like you buy like
Yeah,
a pack of them and everything. And I don't know if that's true. If anybody does have like some actual truth to that, please link us to that.
drop us a
I would
line.
greatly
Let us know.
appreciate it.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I have kind of a unique outlook on the whole collecting thing because I used to work at a comic book store for years. Here's the thing, okay? I kind of liken it to the 90s comic book crash. We had a big comic book crash in like 95.
Yep.
94, 95. You remember like the early 90s when the X-Men were really popular and Batman and Bane were doing the whole thing and they had all these variant covers with foil and gold and comic books. The deal with those was comic book stores could buy X number of copies, and usually it was an insanely high number, and they could get 5 of the foil covers that everybody wanted because they were rare, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem: people were buying copies of these comics, and they were having insanely high print runs, like record-setting print runs, like X-Men 1, the relaunch of X-Men in 1990, I think it was 3 or 4. That thing had the highest print run of any comic book in history, and people were buying number 1 thinking, I'm going to put my kids through college because this is collectible. Well, it's only collectible if it's rare, motherfucker. You buy a comic that everybody
You can't
has.
manufacture rarity.
Exactly. And that's exactly what you guys are talking about here. They're making a gajillion of these fucking things, and people are collecting them, quote unquote, and everyone's got one. Well, guess what? Everybody else collects pennies. It doesn't mean they're collectible. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like if you have a bad septic system, you collect pieces of shit too.
The entire idea of
Doesn't
collecting...
make anything desirable or valuable about them.
Yeah, the entire idea of what manufactures something as collectible is that it has to be rare. Because there has to be a demand because somebody has to want it. So if you take it on eBay, there's not going to be a million of these motherfuckers.
Well, for instance, I am holding in front of me one of the Kid Icarus Uprising AR cards, and I have the alternate Palutena card, and it actually says in parentheses rare.
Well, isn't your cock big and throbbing now, isn't it?
I got the rare card. What is it for? I have no fucking idea what it does. I shine the thing on it, and she stands up, and she has stats like the old Marvel cards. And that's about it. It's like, oh yeah, well they fight. No, they don't really fight. They just kind of explode in front of you, and then someone falls down with a big red X. That's, I think they're cute and everything, but I consider them basically the same idea.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to collectibles. I'm very much in favor of collectibles. Do what it is that you want, but
It was funny, speaking of collectible shit, we had, Spawn #1 was one of the big ones in the 90s.
Mhm.
And that was, everybody thought Spawn #1 was going to be collectible and rare and blah, blah, blah.
But
And everybody bought it. Like, literally, it was funny, too. But there's the perception that it's valuable. Like, people would constantly come in, I got a Spawn #1. What do you give me for it? I'm like, I'll give you 5 seconds to walk out of the fucking store. And anyways,
Todd McFarlane. All right, I'll give you $4.
So anyways, we literally had a long box filled with these fucking things. And long boxes, they're like 5 feet long. They're it's just filled to the brim with these things. But because people thought they were rare, the owner would turn around and sell them for $25. So, but we'd only put one or two out at a time, so people still thought they were rare.
Genius. That is retail strategy, service economy thinking at its very finest.
And that's another
Definitely.
helpful hint.
And that's
I
another
know.
hit from the Hate Bit podcast.
Ka-ching.
You know what? People who stand behind the counter when you're buying something, we hate you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back
Retail conspiracist cocksucker. Fuck you. No, mind you, this is how the Sujimotos talk, by the way.
yes.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff out there that's collectible, and I love how they tell you it's a collectible. It's like you can't do that. That's against the rules.
Yeah, but just going back to these AR cards for the for Kid
'Cause
Icarus.
some like
Right.
kidney stones, you know.
I have a 3DS. I have the Circle Pad Pro and all that good shit. But my 3DS, the AR cameras don't work. They fucking just don't work.
You have to have the right kind of lighting, actually. I found that
no,
they find in the
they-
kitchen, but not at my desk here.
No, they just don't work. Mine don't. They refuse to work. And then when they do fucking work, I have no use for the AR cards. You know, I tried this. I've still got the 6 that you get with the 3DS. What are they? They're just generic fucking Nintendo bloody mascots that they've had for fucking 20 odd years. You get.
Well, the question block kind of neat at first.
Yeah. Then I look at the ones that came with me, Kid Icarus Uprising, which I had to go through 8 fucking stores and 3 towns to fucking find a copy. And then I had to pay 35 fucking quid for the damn thing, for a thing with a
You had to
fucking
pay for a
clipboard. But that's another rant. But these stupid AR cards, right? Now, I was pissed once. Very pissed and pissed off. And I just went on to Club Nintendo. Yes, I do have my Club Nintendo badge on.
Oh boy.
What hat are you wearing?
I'm wearing the Luigi one because I'm the
You're
tall,
Luigi.
thin bastard.
There you go.
Yeah. But I actually had 3,750 Nintendo points.
hmm
I thought it would be a good idea, in my infinite wisdom, to buy AR cards that for Kid Icarus Uprising with all 3,000 points. Well, 3,750 points.
Yeah.
That is, well, there are about 250 points in this country, so it's near enough 30 fucking packets of fucking Kid Icarus Uprising cards.
Nice.
So I'm yet to receive these cards, and when I do, I will probably do a video saying I am a dickhead and this is what I've bought.
I have one more thing to take up room in my home, and now I have to go slit my wrist with one of these things.
No, you'll just see the end of the video with me swinging from the light fixture.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry, Marge. Just batting this light bulb's the only thing that makes me feel better after the shoddy AR card purchase.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, that is my rant. Input, please.
Yes.
I think it's a bag of dicks.
How many skips is it now?
Huh?
How many skips of dicks is it now?
Oh, many, 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 many.
I think we're up to 7, all right?
What about Alpha? I mean, okay, Alpha. We've seen your Wall-O games. We know you collect some shit.
Don't tell me you don't got something to say about some figures.
Yeah.
I got a lot of collectible bullshit. It's mostly because I just hate rebuying stuff. But
Yeah.
the major thing is collectible stuff. It's cool to a certain extent. The only thing I can really say is it just shouldn't overtake your life, and you should always have your bills paid. Because there's people that get into collecting, and they'll put it ahead of buying food, paying the electric, paying for the water and sewage and garbage and gas and your rent. Like, I've seen people actually do this. They're like 2 months behind on rent, but they had enough money to go out and buy the collector's edition of Uncharted 3. And it's like,
Fuck.
what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, but I really had to have the game. I'm like, you also really need a place to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just saying, you might want to go and figure out your shit. So, collecting, it's cool and all, but at the same point, you got to have the budget for it. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta have
I'm
a lot
very.
of money.
I have a bias towards collecting because it sounds fucked up coming from me. Because everybody sees it's like, are you filming in a game store? It's like, no, that's the dining room that I converted into a game room.
We
Just so you
dine
know.
on PlayStation 2 around here.
Dude, I had like when I moved into the place, I was like, I have no use for a dining room because I have a fucking living room that I eat in
And you have a
because it has a
kitchen.
great big TV. So it's like, why the fuck do I need a dining room? So I was like, that's the game room now. But
Dining rooms for people who have servants and shit.
yeah, it's just like dining room, and that just makes me think of Resident Evil. Barry walks in, a dining room, and then you hear the clock ticking. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, it's no, collecting's pretty cool. But like the thing with the cards and everything, people are gonna get fucking out of control with that.
Yes,
gonna be
I
like
already
some-
have.
Dude, it's gonna be like Pokemon cards all over again.
Oh
I'm telling you.
god.
I know. I
Motherfuckers-
just feel like for
People,
some reason
are
I
you
have to
implying, dude? Are you implying that Pokemon cards are dead? There are still Pokemon card tournaments. It's fucking
Oh no,
insane.
no! I'm not saying
I
that
can't
they're
believe
dead.
that.
I'm saying that like okay, when the Pokemon like cards first started up, everybody and their fucking grandmothers were going out
Yeah.
and buying that shit, looking for the fucking limited edition holofoil first edition Charizard and beating their dicks furiously when they
Yeah.
found. But
Yeah,
nowadays,
those Beastie Babies were just going off.
yeah, like
Am I-
it hit its peak. It's not at that, but I think that Kid Icarus will usher in something like it. I don't think it'll ever get that main event fucking status that the Pokemon cards did, but I think it will definitely be relishing in the same kind of shit. So
See,
yeah.
I'm one of those weird guys. I played collectible card games back in like junior high or high school. Like we're talking yeah, I know, right? We're talking pre-Pokemon. We're talking shit like the BattleTech card game.
Magic the Gathering.
I never played Magic the Gathering, thank God.
I still do.
Oh no!
No.
I had to, see,
Yeah,
I had to-
Everybody have a good couple laughs at my expense, but the thing is, like, I just have a couple decks, and that's really it.
well, Magic the
Doing the
Gathering isn't
Pogs,
that
too?
bad. Because I had an ex-girlfriend who played Magic the Gathering, so I mean, I guess there's some females that are into it too. So you're not that much of a social reject.
Dude,
But,
honestly, there's a surprising amount of chicks that play. That's one of the things I was surprised by. I was like, wow, you have some
And
fucking
they're
hoops
not
on
married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember that. That was like the late '90s when all the collectible card games were coming out. You had BattleTech and Star Wars, the arcade, Star Wars, the collectible card game, and fucking, of course, 31 flavors of fucking Magic the Gathering. And then Pokemon comes down the pike, and now it's fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! And oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
I tried to play the Marvel Versus game once, and I didn't get it. I'm like, this would be a lot more useful if I just use it to chop coke. So I did, and I took a nap, and the rest is it.
Does this have anything to do with the blue Vayner of Mr. Reagan?
Yeah, does this have
Oh.
anything to do with Reagan?
That might have a lot to do with it.
Anyway.
I don't want to change the subject. This is what people want to hear
You
about.
don't want to
man.
hear
Just-
about Ronald Reagan's
we-
fucking wrinkly cock and snorting cocaine off the fucking thing.
You know what? Everyone had completely forgotten we were just having a larf, and now you've completely drug up this very graphic image. Thank you for taking this away from being a family show.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Oh, here we go.
Mr. Chaos, choke down this veiny cock. Yes!
Tell me where the red button is.
Yes!
I'll give you some of my MX missile.
Oh god.
Dude, poor
Anyway.
Sainted. It's just like I have to have like brain bleach right now.
Oh.
I know, because he's got to go to bed thinking about this stuff.
Oh, it's fucking 4 a.m. here. Come on.
Well, it's not, it's
No,
not
I know.
relatable.
Exactly.
I mean, we have to feel for him a little bit because it's not relatable to him. If we were to talk about us snorting coke off Margaret Thatcher's ass crack, or
Oh no,
something,
no.
Oh,
No,
Sainted,
fuck
you're gonna
off,
be going to
Maggie
bed with
fucking
that image in your
Thatcher,
head
start,
now.
Maggie fucking Thatcher, you're gonna get every fucking Brit from here to fucking Scotland and back again. Fucking raging about that fucking bitch that destroyed our country during the fucking 80s. And now history's repeating itself with fucking David Bastard Cameron.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, we're moving on from fucking politics. What's next?
We're going to take a bite out of the queen.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that seems to be all. Do we have any closing remarks?
Go fuck yourselves.
Fuck Capcom.
Oh, the last podcast we were talking about pancakes. This time it's waffles. Waffles.
Bird's eye
Waffles.
potato
Tune in
waffles.
next week for Falafel Week here on the Hate Bit Podcast.
Hey, real quick, does anybody remember like they had the frozen Eggo waffles? They had what was called waffles, like Fulls, and they were filled with jelly.
Mm.
They were out for a really short amount of time. Like, does
Anybody
anybody
remember
remember
Why?
that?
That sounds disgusting.
Dude, like I remembered those. I shit you not. Like, I fucking ate them. I thought they were awesome, but I was also a little kid, and I could eat dirt and be like, this is great. It's like cookie
Well,
dough.
I mean, I can understand. I'm not going to
with
judge.
jelly already in it.
Wait, what?
Did you eat the peanut butter with the jelly already in it?
Ugh.
Wait, oh my god, what the fuck is it called? It's like striped looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Jelly
like
nut.
peanut butter then jelly then peanut butter then jelly. I had it when I was little. I haven't had that in years and years.
What kind of lazy ass eats that kind of thing? That's like the people that's got their sock already sewn into their shoe.
You want to know who eats that? People that just put this big fucking like tablespoon in and just take out the entire top layer, and they're just like, oh, this is great.
Double. Here's my family can have the rest of my mouth.
But I
Anyway.
get that. This is how we take the fucking podcast. We'll talk about serious business stuff. We'll also throw in a bunch of really fucked up like sexual innuendo, and then end with motherfucking peanut butter, jelly, and waffles. Tell us that we don't fucking get around when it comes to topical banter.
Oh.
We're fucking awesome.
But I've got something to say from the British side of the pond.
What's going on the British side?
What the fuck was the person that thought it would be a good idea to put peanut butter on one slice of bread, jam on another fucking slice of bread, and then decide to eat them as a sandwich? What the hell are you guys thinking over there?
And the office.
Wait a minute, you guys don't eat that over there?
No, we don't.
Oh
An
man,
officer-
it's
I'll
fucking
tell
awesome.
you who did. I'll tell you who did exactly. An officer and a gentleman. That's who.
Mayo Hayes.
A great fucking man thought of that.
You can't handle the truth.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like PB&J, that's like when you're a poor kid like me, PB&J is like, well, I don't have anything for dinner. It looks like I'm going for my third PB&J and my glass of fucking almost expired milk. Huzzah.
Come from the south, it's a flour tortilla with peanut butter on it.
I haven't had that, but damn, I want that now.
No, if you're really poor like me, raised in South Phoenix, you rock the butter on the tortilla, just regular butter on the tortilla.
Dude,
On the tortilla, fuck yeah, dude.
Here, you want to know what I had tons of fucking times? And anybody that's listening to this, if you're fucking broke as shit, please try this. If you think it's gross, well, I don't care. It's my fucking arteries. So, okay, the regular egg noodles, just like regular fucking noodles, and a bunch of fucking butter. Boil the fucking noodles, throw some butter on. If you got garlic salt, throw that bitch on. Bam, there you go. Fucking dinner.
Wait a minute, don't forget that. See, this is where the culinary advice comes in, because that started with just egg noodles with butter on it. But you put a little garlic salt, you got Alfredo right there.
Oh,
Dude, yeah, man, it's some shit not to fuck around with. And I've told some people, and they're like, "Oh man, how can you eat that?" I'm like, "I'll tell you, because I have a fucking budget I have to stick to, and I can't starve to death, asshole."
It's called fettuccine Norberto.
Yeah.
But saying that, going back to the waffles thing, when I was a student, right? Well, yes, I was a student. It's unbelievable, I know. I used to live on a student budget for my food, which was like fucking 25 pence for like 3 days. I used to actually get the potato waffles, the frozen ones.
Yeah.
Right. Used to get them, bung 2 of them in the toaster on full fucking pelt, and then get one of those processed pieces of cheese.
Ugh.
Bung the cheese on one waffle, put the other waffle on top, and munch it. Best fucking meal you can have. It's a good snack as well. Just make sure you put your toaster on full whack, because one time I forgot, and it cooked, it defrosted them, but I took a bite and it was cold in the middle. I was like, oh, I had to throw it.
Do you know what's the best part about the Hate Bit podcast? Is that no matter who listens to this, they know that their life's just not that bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I was gonna say the best thing about it is listening to our very sensual voices
Oh yeah.
as we make you have
It's very
eargasms.
well.
Mm.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of our podcast for this week. We thank you for joining us. Today, we've learned that Captivate Capcom has a lot in store for us, or so they claim. They're not making a movie about that really shitty Matthew Broderick film. Some of our fans are smart, some of our fans are not. SuperMario4.com, something really neat. Double Dragon 4 Neon, or Double Dragon Neon is a bunch of shit. Cliff Blazinski is a moron. And so we also waxed a little bit about the closing of certain Best Buy stores. Oh, we tried. So we thank you for joining us. And before we go, we remind you to fuck the Sujimotos, fuck Cliff Blazinski, fuck Bimmy and Jimmy, and fuck Jat Tramiel's ghost. So,
With ectoplasm condoms.
with ectoplasm on your blue vein Ronald Reagan cock. So we thank you for joining us. I've been Yellkaos. Raise your fist.
Godspeed, motherfuckers.
Alpha Omega Sin.
I fucking love you and I have a heart on.
The super sick Sainted Magnus.